We begin with the military staging that coup d'etat in Gabon. It follows a disputed result in the presidential election at the weekend. This was the image then that the Gabonese people saw this Wednesday morning that told them there had been a forced change of leadership. The incumbent president, Ali Bongo Ondimba, declared himself the winner at the weekend in a vote that had no independent monitoring. And he immediately imposed an internet shutdown. Independent media such as France 24, RFI, TV5 Monde were also blocked in Gabon for talking of the suspicions of electoral fraud. Well, our channel has since been reinstated. This evening, General Brice Oligui Nguema has been named as the transitional leader of Gabon. Here at France 24, Kathy Clifford with this.
General Oligui Nguema has ordered the restoration of the internet and international radio and TV channels broadcasting in Gabon. In addition, the president of the transition insists on the need to maintain calm and serenity in our beautiful country.
Let's bring you our first guest for analysis. Nathaniel Powell, who examines West Africa at Oxford Analytica, joins us now. Good evening to you. What's your understanding of the present situation in Gabon this evening?
Hello, and thanks for having me on. So at the moment, it seems that the junta has effectively taken power. There is no counter-coup. There doesn't seem to be any opposition within the military to the junta itself. And it looks like, at least as of this moment, that it will be difficult for, at least using domestic resources, for Ali Bongo to return to power.
What do we know about the new people who've taken charge, the military junta, as could be?
Right. So they seem to represent different branches of the army, which suggests unity within the armed forces. There are rumors, but again, these are unconfirmed, and reporting is still patchy about the circumstances of the coup, but there may have been disputes over patronage networks that are shared between the presidency and the military. But again, it's unclear who these may have benefited and what kind of ways in which this could have motivated the coup. What does seem to be the case is that the coup makers are really riding on Bongo's unpopularity, especially in urban areas like Libreville and Port-Gentil, as a way of justifying and legitimizing their takeover. And another aspect of it is that the elections, which were the election results, which were announced last night, or rather very early this morning, around 4 a.m., gave Bongo a victory from the August 26th elections. And this contradicted a lot of information that was coming from the electoral commission that suggested that maybe the opposition was in fact ahead in the votes. So it's conceivable that the army saw this as an opportunity to step in and stop a process which would have seen Bongo elected once again in a situation in which the polls appear to be rigged against the opposition. At the same time, the junta is not giving power to the opposition; they're taking it themselves. So, Nguema himself, as we know from U.S. Treasury documents, has considerable real estate holdings in the United States, and is connected to the corrupt networks that were linked to Ali Bongo. So it's unclear whether the junta is going to be much different in terms of its governance style than the Bongo regime itself, and that's a real open question that is going to be kind of hanging over the transition over the next couple of weeks and months.
So essentially, this is more of the same, do you think?
Well, that's a real risk, that this is essentially a situation of meet the new boss. He's the same as the old boss, and he is a cousin of Bongo's, and he's the military itself, especially parts of the military leadership, have been implicated in corruption scandals in the past. That being said, the Bongo dynasty, which has been in power from father to son since the 1960s, the 1967, has generated enormous amounts of unpopularity in the country. So the junta does have an opportunity, if it so chooses, to use this grace period and honeymoon period that they'll certainly benefit from to deliver a properly democratic transition. And unfortunately, juntas across the region tend not to do this. They tend to want to stay in power and drag transitions out. And I guess that would be the baseline expectation, that this junta is going to be doing the same thing. But there's always room for surprise and hope that they will look for a rapid and democratic transition process that restores constitutional rule and delivers Gabon into the hands of a civilian elected president.
Nathaniel Powell, West Africa analyst at Oxford Analytica. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Thank you for sharing that analysis with us.